Welcome to Lesson 2, Dividing Decimals and Fractions. In this video, we're going to look at dividing decimals. Now to do this, we're going to move the decimal point of the divisor to the right so that there are no more decimal places. So we're essentially going to end up with a whole number. And we also need to move the decimal point in the dividend to the right the same amount of places. And just to review some terms here, if I had to divide 2 into 17, for example, we call the 2 the divisor, and the 17 is the dividend. In example 1, we have to evaluate negative 3.04 divided by 0.4. We'll set that up by writing 0.4 into 3.04. Now I didn't include the negative sign here because we'll determine the sign after. Now the rules for division are the same rules that we did for multiplication. Now to divide, I'm going to move my decimal point in my divisor one place to the right. So I move it in my dividend one place to the right as well. What we end up with is 4 into 30.4. Now, 4 doesn't go into 3, but it can go into 30 7 times. 4 times 7 is 28. Subtracting 30 and 28 is 2. I'm going to make sure I place my decimal here so it lines up. Bringing down my 4 now. 4 into 24 is 6. Then that gives me a 0 remainder. Now for the sign. I have a negative divided by a positive. That's going to give me negative 7.6. Next, we have to divide 0.54 by negative 0.006. Now here, I have to move my decimal point 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, making sure I fill up the space here with a 0. So rewriting that, we have 6 into 540. 6 doesn't go into 5, but it does go into 54 9 times. I'll subtract that and get a 0. Bringing down the 0, still get 6 into 0, which is 0. And I'll end up with 0 remainder. Now for the sign. I have a positive divided by a negative. So my answer is going to be negative 90. Now, this last example, we have to divide negative 84 by negative 0.22. We have to move our decimal point in the divisor 2 places to the right this time. And here's the decimal on 84, moving that 2 places. I have to fill up these spaces with zeros. So now we have 22 into 8,400. Now 22 doesn't go into 8, but it does go into 84. I know that 22 times 4 is 88, so it's not going to be that much. It's only going to go in 3 times. 3 times 22, 66. Now 84 take away 66, that gives you 18. Bring down a 0. Now we have to figure out how many times 22 can go into 180. Now I know that 22 times 10 is 220, which is kind of close. I'm going to see what 22 times 9 is. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 9 is 18 again, plus the 1. So 198. That's a little bit too much. Let's see what 22 times 8 is. 16. 16 plus 1. 176. So that works. That would be 8 times 176. 180. Take away 176 is 4. Gotta bring down a 0 now. 22 into 40 is just once. And when I subtract 40, take away 22, I'll get 18. If I add some zeros here, I'm going to end up with a repetition because I end up with 22 into 180 again. It's going to be a repeat of this step and then a repeat of this step again. I'm going to end up with 81, 81, 81, and so on. So let's write our answer now. Negative divided by negative is going to be a positive. So our answer is 381.81 repeating.